All right, let's jump right in. Welcome to today's explainer, where we're going to completely demystify the Maryland Form 1 filing process for your LLC. Whether you've just recently formed a business in Maryland or you've been operating for a while now, keeping up with state compliance can honestly feel like a second job sometimes. But it really doesn't have to be. Today, we are going to break down exactly how to master your Maryland annual report so your business stays in perfect standing with the state, totally stress-free. But before we get to the how-to, we gotta address the elephant in the room. What actually happens if you just ignore your Maryland LLC annual report? I mean, it's just a piece of paper, right? Well, skipping this seemingly simple form carries some seriously severe consequences. We aren't just talking about a couple of minor late fees here. If you ignore this requirement, you actively risk losing your legal right to operate your business entirely. It is absolutely without a doubt the single most important annual task for keeping your LLC alive and protected. So, here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. The Maryland Annual Report. 2. Prep before you file. 3. Step-by-step online filing. 4. Common issues and solutions. And finally, 5. Next steps and best practices. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the Maryland Annual Report. It's really crucial to understand exactly what the state is asking of you here, because, like we said, this isn't just some casual check-in. The Form 1 is officially known as the Annual Report and Business Personal Property Return. Basically, every single entity formed, qualified, or registered to do business in Maryland as of January 1st has to file it. And if you don't, you face forfeiture. That's the state's formal term for the loss of your business charter. Losing your good standing status means you can lose access to business loans, face massive operational disruptions, and literally lose the legal authorization to conduct business in Maryland. So, yeah, the stakes are very real. So what is the magic date to prevent all of that? April 15th. Go ahead and mark this on your calendar in bright red ink right now. The annual report absolutely must be filed or postmarked by April 15th every single year. And get this, that applies regardless of whether your business owns property, generates income, or even if it conducted zero business activity in Maryland during the previous year. You still have to file. And when you're navigating these state requirements, it is so vital to know you're dealing with the official documents, mostly just to avoid any of those sketchy third-party scams out there. What you're looking for is the official cover of the Form 1 instructions from the State Department of Assessments and Taxation, often just called SDAT. That's the exact entity and form that maintains that all-important good standing status for your LLC. Moving right along to Section 2, Prep before you file. Let me tell you, gathering the right info beforehand drastically reduces your anxiety and just makes the online process a breeze. I actually highly encourage you to pause this explainer right now and track down these exact documents. Ready? You'll need your full legal business name and your primary business address. You're going to need your SDAT department ID. You need your resident agent's contact info. And remember, that's the person who is physically available at a Maryland address during regular business hours to receive legal documents. Lastly, you'll need your 9-digit EIN and your total gross sales data from the previous year. Now, here's a little detail that trips up a lot of people, the SDAT detail ID. To be clear, this is not your EIN. Your SDAT ID is a highly specific identifier provided by the state, and it's always formatted as a letter prefix followed by 8 digits. If you don't have this memorized, and let's be honest, who does? Don't panic. You can easily track it down using Maryland's online entity search on the Maryland Business Express website. Just pop in your business name and your ID will show right up. Okay, on to the main event, Section 3, Step-by-Step Online Filing. With your checklist totally complete, we're now in the core action phase. We're going to guide you through the exact sequence required on the state portal. When you navigate over to File, you'll see the official agency logo for the Maryland State Department of Assessments and Taxation. You'll be accessing the Maryland Business Express portal, which is honestly a great award-winning site the state designed to help you manage your business safely. Seeing that official logo just reinforces that you're in a trusted, secure state environment. The online process itself is just a super logical sequence. Step 1, log into your Maryland Business Express account, hit Start a New Filing, and choose File Annual Report. Step 2, enter that SDAT ID we just found and systematically update any of your business info, like a new mailing address or a change in your resident agent. Step 3, upload any supporting documents if the system prompts you, for instance, a Form SD1 if you happen to have disposed of any business personal property. Step 4, carefully review everything for accuracy, sign it digitally, and hit Submit. Boom. Done. Now, let's talk about an incredibly important comparison, filing online versus filing by mail. I absolutely 100% advocate for the online route. Here's why. If you file a paper form by mail, Maryland assesses a strict $300 filing fee for LLCs. But, and this is huge, thanks to legislation that kicked in back in 2022, if you file online through Maryland Business Express, the state filing fee for the annual report is $0. Yes, literally zero. Plus, filing online gives you instant verification that your report was received, whereas mailing it just leaves you waiting and wondering for weeks. Let's pivot over to Section 4, Common Issues and Solutions. So even with a really smooth portal, things can pop up. Let's troubleshoot some common roadblocks so you don't get stuck right at the finish line. We just talked about that standard $300 filing fee. While the state waived the fee for digital submissions of the standard LLC annual report, you might still face this depending on how you file, or if you're a corporation, or if you have specific personal property tax obligations. But I've got a really high-value insider tip on how certain businesses can legally waive this cost entirely. The state actually offers a waiver through a program called Maryland Saves. It's a state-sponsored savings initiative. If your business has been operating for at least 2 years, employs at least one person over 18, and uses an automated payroll system, you can qualify for this. If you register your business for Maryland Saves by December 31st and maintain your employees' contribution rates, SDAT waives your annual report filing fee for every single year you participate. It is a brilliant way to offer a retirement benefit to your team and save your business money at the exact same time. Another really common point of confusion is the personal property tax portion of the form. Well, the great news here is that a recent regulatory change brought some major relief for small businesses. If your business has less than $20,000 in business personal property, you are no longer required to report personal property with your annual report. This is a game changer that removes a massive administrative headache for smaller operations or freelancers who literally just own a couple of laptops and a desk. Almost at the finish line. Section 5, Next Steps and Best Practices. So you clicked Submit. Awesome. But the job isn't quite finished yet. Here is your quick after-filing checklist to confirm your success. First, always save your confirmation receipt from the portal. That is your immediate proof of compliance if a bank or a vendor ever questions your status. Second, set a calendar reminder right now for next April 15th. Just make it a recurring annual event. Third, keep in mind that if you ever do get behind, you can actually request an extension to June 15th through the online portal, but you absolutely must request it before the original April 15th deadline. And finally, check the state portal a few days later to verify your LLC status officially reads good standing. Now, just a quick professional heads up. While this explainer is based on current, authoritative source data directly from the Maryland State Department of Assessments and Taxation, state regulations and fee structures are, always subject to change. As a responsible business owner, it's on you to always verify current rules, deadlines, and criteria directly with official state resources just to be safe. Which brings us to our final thought. Is your LLC's good standing worth 15 minutes of your time today? I mean, we've mapped out exactly how straightforward the Maryland Form 1 process really is when you file online, gather your documents beforehand, and use that state portal. You know the severe risks of forfeiture, and you know the massive benefits like those $0 digital filing fees and the Maryland Saves waiver. You are now fully equipped to protect your business, so don't put it off. Go secure.